Shaban Ali Afifeh, born on June 13th of 1958, married to Tuba Mu'tamid on August 28th, 1984. Martyred only 3 years after their marriage in 1987. Sometimes loss isn't as simple as a minor heart attack that knocks you to the ground, or even as clear-cut as taking a bullet and closing your eyes. Sometimes loss is far more subtle, far more cunning. It hides in every old family photograph, smiling at the camera as if it belongs, like it's always been part of the family. A quiet presence that, with a bitter wink, keeps reminding you that you'll lose your beloved sooner than you think. But when loss carries meaning, it becomes bearable. Then you can wink back defiantly and say, I endure this pain for God. This separation is a sorrow I must carry in this world so I can taste the sweetness of reunion in the next. And really, why else were we brought into this world if not for this? After all, isn't love always intertwined with longing and pain? And so you managed to wipe that sly little smile from its face just long enough to savor what's left of your tender, fleeting moments together. This book tells the story of a woman who, throughout her brief but beautiful life with the man of her dreams, always returned that wink, bravely and knowingly, from the very first moment Tuba realized her mysterious suitor was a warrior. Welcome to another episode of Unwithering Flames. Let's dive into today's book. I never thought about marriage, so I didn't take this proposal seriously. I talked with no one about it at home, neither my sister nor my parents. Before long, Farahnaz contacted me on the house phone. She said, "Don't do that. He's a very good guy. He's a longtime friend of my husband. We often visit each other. We know him well. He's a combatant too. You said you liked combatants, right?" When she said combatant, I shuddered and knew I had to think twice. I called to mind the days at the Basij base when we were collecting donations and washing the clothes of the combatants of the front line. I was always envious of them. I washed and ironed their bloodied clothes with love. I crocheted them shawls and hats. I packed dried figs for the combatants. I envied the fact that I wasn't a boy and could not go to the front line. Farahnaz changed my mind with just this one word: combatant. In the darkness of the night, she went by the hose and performed ablution. She spread her prayer rug and began saying her prayers. She was so keyed up inside, her stomach was in knots. Only prayers and devotion could calm her down. She constantly read the Quran and recited dhikr. She prayed to God under her breath with her eyes full of tears. She wanted a man from God whom she had never seen. Her only reason for her tendency towards this marriage was that he was a combatant. The fact that he had sacrificed himself to go to the front line had literally fascinated her. She prayed so much that she eventually calmed down. Her tears slid over her chador. She stood up for prayers. They were sitting shoulder to shoulder. Others were rubbing sugar cones together above their heads. Tuba was holding the Quran in her hands and was lip-reading Surah Maryam. The alim, religious notary, was also reading the verse to sanctify their wedding. She said yes on the third repetition, just like most other brides. At that moment, she prayed for everyone to have prosperity in life. Others were blissed out, clapping and throwing out noql, lollies and sugars. Tuba closed the Quran and held it against her forehead. She closed her eyes and wished that God would give her patience. She was anxious inside, but relied on God and kissed the Quran. When I went out to perform ablution at prayer time, I picked up a damask rose from the garden and put it in his pocket. I tried to give him a flower whenever he came to our home. Ali also kept the flower in his pocket when he stood to say his prayers. I laid out his prayer rug myself the first time he said his prayers in our home. I told him, "When we are together, I would like to lay out your prayer rug myself, my dear." After we married, whenever we were alone together, I called him my dear. After lunch, he asked for a toothpick. He had a gap between his teeth. The food got lodged in that gap whenever he ate something, and it bothered him. I fetched him the toothpick. From that day on, I always remembered to put a few toothpicks inside his pocket before eating. "How don't you lose sight of that?" he always asked. "When you are in love, you will remember everything," I replied. The autumn started as he left for Tabriz. Before leaving, he came to visit us at home for farewells. My mother put some packs of pistachio and sunflower seeds in his suitcase. I passed the Quran over his head. He kissed it. I also spilled water on the ground behind his back. After saying goodbye, I closed the door and broke down in tears. Before long, I missed him. I behaved like a crazy person. Everyone could understand how much I loved him. At nights, I cried up to the point that I fell asleep. My pillow was always wet from my tears, both during the engagement period when I lived with my parents, as well as after the wedding when I was in his mother's house. Ali's departure left me with nothing but gloom again. His phone calls were my only delight. One day, he called and said he was going to go to the front line. "I have promised not to argue with you about it, so go. I wish you Godspeed," I said. We could barely talk to each other over the phone whenever he went to the front line, even less than when he was at the university. "It's a long line here. Others are waiting to call. It's better if we keep our conversation short." Days were passing one by one. Spring was on its way again, spring of 1985. It was the first Nowruz since Ali had set foot into my life and had become the man of my dreams. Spring had arrived. Ali didn't though. It was operation time and he had to stay at the front line. I was on edge. I read the Quran constantly to calm myself. I always thought Ali was true to me. I never imagined he would hide anything from me. I was in a huff, heartbroken. I picked up the phone and called the hospital. When I heard Ali's voice, I poured out all of my heart in one sentence. "I have heard you injured your hand," I blurted out. "So," he said, "shouldn't I have found out earlier? Why didn't you tell me during the last 2 weeks?" I questioned. "I'm really proud of you for having lost your hand at the front line, my dear," I continued. Hearing this, he erupted in laughter and said, "I have lost my hand and you're proud of it?" I said, "Well, I am your wife. I've been granted the gift of living with a disabled veteran. I want to come to Isfahan." He asked me not to do so. I insisted. Ali said, "My dear, it will not be ideal for you to come visit me here." And of course, persuading such a devoted, love-struck woman was far harder than that. Holding the vase in her hand, she climbed the stairs 2 at a time. She had come a long way, counting every second to see Ali. Every time Ali used to come to see her, this time it was her turn. She was looking around to find his room, and she finally did. "Is Ali really in this room?" She held the vase tight. Puffing and panting, she went through. On the doorstep, she turned her eyes to look inside the room. Her eyes were glued to Ali's. She was in a complete daze. How frail he had become, skin and bones, pale as a ghost. The hair on his head was all shaved off. She could not believe it. Was he her Ali? Her hands started to shake. She squeezed her chador in her hand. Then she swallowed the lump in her throat, raised a smile, stepped in, and stood by Ali's bed. Greeted him and put the vase on the bedside table. Then she pushed aside the blanket and bent to kiss the stump of his amputated hand. She got a fix on the stitches on Ali's throat and kissed them too. "I have to kiss your scars one by one," she said. A teardrop fell on the ground from the corner of her eye. She smiled. Ali smiled too. They had desperately missed each other. What a hard time they had. How little their chance was to see each other. Both of them were longing for nothing more than just to sit and hold a gaze at one another. We felt like talking to each other, but we did not want to bother anyone with our whispers. "Let's go into the yard," Ali said. I picked up his serum and we went out silently. In the yard, we walked together a little bit. There were tall trees in the middle of the yard and rows of seats on both sides. The breeze blew on our faces as we walked. We were enjoying ourselves. We sat on one of the seats. From that night forward, I called him Abul Fazl. Abul Fazl, not even all the people on earth can separate us, I said, fixing my eyes on him. One of my friends burnt his face a little in an operation. His fiancée, who was his cousin, said that she did not want to be with him anymore and they should get divorced. I was scared I might have lost you, Tuba. When I regained consciousness and found that I had lost my hand, I never said, "Oh, my hand." I said, "Oh, Tuba." He told me. "Why did these thoughts cross your mind? Hadn't we talked before our marriage regarding this? Don't you remember I said I would be patient even if you became disabled, caught, or martyred?" I asked. "I know, but I was still worried despite all that," he said. That night at the hospital was the first time we were speaking warmly from the heart. Alongside all of the things we talked about, I never mentioned I was upset over his dishonesty and secrecy. During the 17 or 18 days that Ali was in the hospital, many tried to separate us. They called or came to our house. They would say, "Are you really going to live with someone who had lost his hand? Do you know how difficult that is? Do you know what that means?" It was heartbreaking to hear those words. I wanted to shout at them and tell them that Ali had lost his hand so that we could live in comfort. I was always tongue-tied, but once when one of the relatives said, "You were ill-omened. Ali has been going to the front line for years. Why hadn't he been injured so far?" I could no longer tolerate it and said, God intended to divide his reward in two, one half for him and one half for his wife, so that he doesn't get all the rewards for himself. They literally could not understand me. They could not comprehend what I meant. On the first day when Ali talked about becoming disabled or martyred, I found out he would not stay with me. But I wanted to live alongside him even for a short time. A few days before the wedding, Ali brought his suit and asked me to shorten and fit his trouser legs. We decided that I would shorten and hem one leg and get him to sew the other one. He could do many of his daily chores, even though he only had one hand. He was wonderful. I put the leg of his trousers on my knees and started to make delicate zigzag stitches. I thought to myself, I have to do it so beautifully that Ali appreciates me and my skills in a way that his mother and sisters also give me credit for it. As it was finished, when I intended to take it high and make a show of it, I realized that I had sewn the edge of the trouser leg to my own trousers. Ali burst out laughing in such a way that I'll never forget it. We were both laughing loudly. We were so happy together that we could barely think of our hardships. "Tuba, I sewed it better than you with only one hand," he said. Mr. Ayatollahi gifted Ali the uniform in the Friday prayer. I forced him to try it on instantly when he came home, though he did not want to wear it right at the moment. He went and put the uniform on. I was as overjoyed as if God had given me the entire world. I was proud that I was the wife of a pastor. He was with me for 15 days and 15 days at the front line from that day forward. His mood and actions changed more each time he returned from the front line. All of what he did and what he said smelled like a testament. And the feeling wasn't one-sided. Day by day, my moods were changing too. I feared I may lose Ali. I was restless and expressed my sadness more than before. Until then, I only cried in privacy, but now I even cried in front of him. I cried when washing the dishes. I cried when cooking. Ali said nothing and only looked at me kindly. His looks reduced me to tears even more. I said, "I'm sorry, I'm not to blame. I can't stand it. I can't help crying." Could anyone understand me? Could anyone understand that when your husband goes to the front line, it's operation time day and night in your heart and you die 1,000 deaths? Could anyone understand how every doorbell ring sets your soul on fire when your husband is not home? Could anyone understand what you are going through when in your best days of youth, instead of hearing about hope for the future, you constantly hear about death? He talked a lot about his martyrdom. He was making his will the entire time. "You have to continue your studies if I am martyred, take care of my family, etc." It was too much for me to bear. I said, "Who says you will die first? Maybe I'll die first." It made me cry. I said, "Ali, you have to perform my ghusl of the dead. It is I that will submit my will to you." I only said these words to comfort myself. I felt like having a baby, a keepsake from Ali that I could keep after his departure. Someone I could look to for comfort. If God took Ali from me, at least I have a child from him, I prayed. "No, Tuba, don't pray to God for a child. I begged God not to give us a child. I don't want you to be troubled after me. You could live more comfortably without a baby." Ali said, "It broke my heart. How could I live more comfortably without Ali? Could I even live without him?" Later, Ali did something unusual yet entirely predictable. Ali had missed me too, it seemed. He sent us a letter, to me as well as his family. He had written the whole text on a single piece of paper. My father-in-law, who knew what I was going through, said, "Tuba, you read first." She ran into the room, closed her eyes, and held the letter close to her heart. She had missed the writer of the letter so much. She took a few big, deep breaths and opened her eyes. She kissed the letter and started to read. Tears kept falling from her eyes. Suddenly, she felt a lump in her throat. Grief and sadness engulfed her. She stood up fiercely, took a pen, and scribbled on the letter, "I beg you to remarry after I am martyred." When she was done, she threw it away. She put her head on her knees and broke down into tears. She understood that everything was coming to an end. Her life with Ali was evaporating. She felt like something had held her throat firmly. She was choking. She cried her heart out completely. When she gave the letter to her father-in-law, her eyes were still full of tears. My father-in-law took the letter and the scribbled part caught his eyes. When Ali returned, he asked him, "What have you written on this part that—" Ali had his head down and said, "Agha Jun, maybe she prefers that you should not know about it." I felt like complaining, but I buttoned up. I kept it in my heart. He's tired. These words bother him more, I thought to myself. If I tell him I can't stand his words, I may prevent him from achieving his dream. He may be unable to part ways with me, I also thought. But Ali had already parted ways with me. And at last, Ali's spring arrived. We spent the 13 Badar day there and returned home. He was going to go back to the front line on the same day after Maghrib and Isha prayers. I laid out his prayer rug and he performed his prayers. He said his takbir out loud, Allahu Akbar. My heart trembled inside me. It felt like the ground beneath my feet also shook. He performed the ruku, sajda, etc. I had leaned against the niche on which we had settled the casings and mortar shell. While gazing fixedly at Ali, tears were flowing from my eyes. I had found out that he would never come back this time. When he said the salam of his prayers, I sat beside him and held his hand. I said, "It is said that in the Battle of Martyred, Ja'far al-Tayyar lost both of his hands, and in return, God granted him 2 wings in heaven. So God will definitely bless you with a wing too. I beg you to give me a ride on your wing and take me to visit Fatima al-Zahra. Okay?" My tears rolled down from the corner of my eyes onto our hands. Ali said nothing and performed sajda. He stood up. The lump in my throat was choking me. I had a lot in my heart. Then I carried myself and said, "Do you remember the day you proposed to me? You asked if I could bear it if you became disabled. POW, prisoner of war, or martyred. Did I not bear it, Ali?" He said nothing and only nodded as a yes. I do not know. Maybe Ali was also choking like me. "I'll bear it if you're martyred too. Ali, tell me anything you would like to tell people. I will deliver a speech at your funeral," I continued. He said everything he wanted and I wrote everything down. He recited his Isha prayers. I went and fetched the Quran as well as a glass of water. I fastened his dog tag myself. I held the Quran above his head myself. Ali kissed the Quran and passed from underneath it. I closed the door and burst into tears. I was sobbing uncontrollably in the room. So much crying made my eyes heavy-lidded and I drifted off to sleep. At midnight, I opened my eyes slightly and saw Ali sitting by, gazing at me. He never used to wake me up. He usually shook me gently so that I woke up. But that night, he had not even done that. I smiled. "What are you doing here?" I asked. "I couldn't go. We went to Evaz and then I came back. I told others I'll make it myself tomorrow. Tuba, these last few days we have been busy with too many parties. We didn't get the chance to talk to each other," he said. "The last night of our marriage was beautiful. We talked so much that night to compensate for the days and nights we were not together. When the adhan was recited, Ali performed his prayers and left." They brought Ali's body on the 15th of Sha'ban. I do not know the coincidence, but Ali was born in the month of Sha'ban, injured in the month of Sha'ban, and martyred in the same month as well. There were also 2 other martyrs in addition to Ali. Shahid Najaf Ali Mufid, who had made every effort for our city, and Shahid Muhammad Ali Farasat. Shahid Farasat was his family's only child. He was a qari, professional reciter of the Quran, and a life skills teacher. That night was supposed to be his wedding night. He had told his mother, "I'll catch up for the mid-Sha'ban night." He managed to catch up to that very night, not for the wedding, but for the funeral indeed. People stood in lines. Mr. Ayatullahi recited prayers for the blessings of the martyrs. With each takbir, he said, "It brought our wedding day back into my mind. Ms. Tuba Mu'tamidi, will you take him as your husband? For the 2nd time, will you? For the 3rd time." I could not stand hearing Mr. Ayatullahi's voice playing on the speakers. I wished I was deaf and heard nothing. I wished I was buried along with Ali. When they were throwing soil on Ali, I told him, "I'm coming, whether today or tomorrow. You know I can't tolerate it." Everything happened and ended so fast that I still could not believe it. Sometimes I felt Ali would come back like the previous times, but the black shirt I had on made me remember everything. Missing Ali was like a heap of sorrow in my heart. My eyes were always wet. My friends and relatives came by to offer me condolences. One of my friends said, "Tuba, Ali is no longer alive, but you are. You have to keep on living." Will your tears make him come back? Although these words were burdensome, they helped me get a grip. A few months after Ali was martyred, I heard on TV that Azad Islamic University enrolls students without a diploma degree requirement. I followed it up and bought the books I had to read. I read books and studied constantly. I thought to myself, Ali would be pleased that I'm continuing my studies, and he is seeing me now. These words inspired me. I passed the entrance exam. Once the university's president came into our class and asked, "Who has passed the exam without a diploma?" I raised my hand. He smiled and said, "Ma'am, you are the only one who has been accepted without a diploma in the whole country. I think this circular has been approved only for you." His words were full of hope for me. I felt like God has blessed me greatly and Ali has not left me alone. I studied hard and went to the religious seminary as well. I became a teacher after a while, something I aspired to become from childhood. Sometimes loss isn't as simple as a minor heart attack that knocks you to the ground, or even as clear-cut as taking a bullet and closing your eyes. Sometimes loss is far more subtle, far more cunning. It hides in every old family photograph, smiling at the camera as if it belongs, like it's always been part of the family. A quiet presence that with a bitter wink keeps reminding you that you'll lose your beloved sooner than you think. But when loss carries meaning, it becomes bearable. Then you can wink back defiantly and say, "I endure this pain for God. This separation is a sorrow I must carry in this world so I can taste the sweetness of reunion forever in the next." And really, why else were we brought into this world if not for this? After all, isn't love always entwined with longing and pain? And so you managed to wipe that sly little smile from its face just long enough to savor what's left of your tender, fleeting moments together. Thank you for staying with us on another episode of Unwithering Flames. We hope that you catch the next one.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.